Holy hotness. Hi guys, welcome to Elevated Systems. I'm your host CJ. This week's video should hopefully be pretty quick. I'm gonna try not to be my normal long-winded self, but before I get into the hands-on stuff, I do need to set things up with just a little bit of explanation. Bottom line up front is, I'm going to crack this AI open and see if it's a nasty mess inside. Why would I do that? Well, this is the Enermax Liqtech TR4 II. So, not the original TR4 model, but the refresh. Now, the original model has a lot of problems, the most significant being corrosion and just nastiness building up inside the unit, inevitably leading to pump failure. Now, just a little bit ago, Steve and the guys at Nexus tore apart 14 or 15 of the original models, and they were all just nasty. Granted, there was probably some selection bias there as they got most of the AIOs from viewers that sent them in, so they were units that had already failed and likely been replaced. It's not likely people were just taking perfectly functional AIOs off their computer and shipping them off to be autopsied. This TR4 II is no exception. This AIO came off my personal editing system. A few weeks ago I began to hear what sounded like debris or possibly air bubbles running through the pump block, and CPU peak temps started to become a bit higher than normal. So I immediately RMA'd the AIO, and without hesitation, Enermax sent me a new one. I didn't even need to send the old one in. This one right here. So now the new one is installed on my system, and before I send this one back to Enermax, they did include a prepaid return shipping label. I'm going to open it up and see what I can see. Now, my hope is everything is okay inside and the only issue is a bit of air in the system due to normal permeation. Now, that will make for a less interesting video, however, it will validate the reason I bought this particular cooler to begin with. See, I was aware of the problem with the original model, and when the TR4 II was released, I gave Enermax the benefit of the doubt that they had learned from their mistake and this would now be the best AIO money could buy. So, let's get it torn apart and see if I am. I'm going to start with emptying it. I don't see any corrosion on the outside, nor do I see any corrosion on the screws. And right off the bat, this fluid is a little cloudy. There is some clumpiness in there. So I guess we'll see what it looks like. All right, well, as you can see, the copper plate is perfectly clean. See how our gasket looks. It looks great. I see no buildup at all. Everything looks good inside. Now, I ran this cooler pretty much non-stop for about 8 months now. And it was cooling my Threadripper 2990WX with an all-core overclock on it. So it had its work cut out for it. But I'm happy to say, with the exception of just a tiny little bit of sediment here, which is normal. That is probably just some sediment from inside the radiator. Now let's take a look at the pump itself, see if there's any buildup around the pump. Gasket looks clean. And the pump itself is clean. Okay, so a pristine Enermax AIO. Not the most satisfying conclusion to the video for you, the viewer, unless you have one of these strapped to your $1,000+ Threadripper CPU. Then you can be a little more confident that your AIO is not going to fail on you. Now, of course, this is only one, so not very representative of the whole, and I've read reviews of people's Liqtech TR4 IIs failing on them. However, when I take a closer look at reviews on sites like Amazon and Newegg, I noticed reviews of the TR4 II dated before the TR4 II was released, leading me to believe that the retailer used the same SKU for both models and the bad reviews were actually for the original model. However, there is still the fact that this one was making funny noises, which I now suspect was just air in the line, and while some permeation of the liquid in AIOs through the tubing is normal, it shouldn't have been significant enough only after 8 months to already be affecting performance. So while Enermax may have corrected the original problem, they may want to look at their tubing material choices. The nice thing about this is it's easy to service. Thanks to these ports on the back, you can easily refill it. So now I'll just reassemble it, fill it back up with some distilled water and algicide and anti-corrosive.
Hey guys, I apologize for whispering, but it's almost 2 a.m. and my wife is asleep right on the other side of this wall, but I wanted to give you a quick update. After I completed filming the video, I actually disassembled the AIO again to better flush out the radiator, and while doing so I discovered a small leak right where one of the channels connects to the end tank of the radiator. Now in operation, this hole, I guess you can call it, wasn't large enough for the propylene glycol fluid to actually form a drip and leak from the system. In fact, I only saw it while running some simple green solution through the rad under pressure and just happened to see tiny bubbles escaping. But it does explain how air was introduced to the system. Basically, as the AIO heated up, water evaporated from the solution and escaped through the hole. And then when the AIO cooled down, it sucked in air. So, mystery solved. I guess I will send this unit back. And I'll find a spot to plug this clip into the already edited video, which I guess I decided was like right here. So, smooth transition.
So now I know I'm supposed to send this back, but after all this, I might just hold on to it as a backup. But that'll do it for this video. Short and sweet, but I hope informative. If any of you have had problems with one of these 2nd gen TR4 coolers, let me know in the comments below. And be sure to hit that like and subscribe button on the way out. It really helps a small channel like mine. And until next time, have a great week.